Hi there everyone. Welcome to my tutorial on linear equations in one variable. ax plus b is equal to 0, where a cannot be 0. They add that stipulation in because they don't want their variable to disappear. What I mean by that is if a were to be 0, then 0 times x would be 0. So 0 plus b would be 0, therefore you would have no x. And the whole point is just to have a variable in there. I think the best way to get started is with an example. Let's say we've got 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Well, then I would subtract 4 from both sides, and I'd be left with 4x is equal to negative 4. And I would divide both sides by 4, and I'd be left with x is equal to negative 1. So what we did there was we solved for x. If you have a book, which I'm sure you do if you're taking a class or looking up how to do this for fun, I would be sure you had a book. The examples may say solve each equation or solve for x or something of that nature. For example, you may be given something like 9x plus 11 is equal to 7x 7 plus 1. And our objective here is to solve for x. So what I'll do is I'll group all of the x's on one side, and I'll group all of the constants, or numbers that don't change, on the other. A number that doesn't change is 11, or 1, or 3, or a million. Anything without a variable in front of it. So, like I said, let's group our variables on one side. So I've got to subtract 7x from both sides. So subtract 7x. Subtract 7x. What a pretty 7x. So I get let me draw my line. 2x plus 11 is equal to, these cancel, is equal to 1. Positive 1, of course. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides so I can isolate this x. So I'm subtracting 11, and I wind up with 2x is equal to positive 1 minus 11 is negative 10. And I divide both sides by 2. Here, let me carry this upward here. I wind up with 2x. Oh, that's going to get out of screen. I'll just go down. That's probably a smarter thing to do. So I divide both sides by 2. So I can isolate the x. 2x is not x. So I wind up with, these go away. And what's negative 10 divided by 2? X is equal to negative 5. Wonderful. So what we did was we solved for x. We solved the single variable linear equation, or linear equation in one variable. But I think a lot of us can do this. Let's try one that gives people trouble, such as one that has 2 sets of parentheses. That's always really confusing, if I remember correctly. So we've got 2 x, that's a bracket or the first set of parentheses, x minus, and then we've got another parenthesis, 4 plus 2x, end of the second parenthesis, plus 3, that's an odd plus 3, end bracket is equal to 2x plus 2. Very good. Now, x minus this parenthesis. This parenthesis means we would have the distributive property, or multiplication. what is the minus sign? You can't just have a minus. Well, in math, if there's a minus and there's no number there, well, usually it's 1. And in this case, it is 1. So x minus 1, or x, I guess the best way to say it is negative 1 times 4, and negative 1 times 2x. And a huge misconception is, or a huge problem, a dilemma that I would imagine having, is if I distribute this 2 into the x, and then I distribute into the 1 in the same manner that I would distribute this negative 1 to the 4 and the negative 1 into the 2x, would I distribute this 2 into the 4 and this 2 into the 2x? Well, the answer is no, because if you distribute the 2 into here, which is going to be multiplied by here and here, and then you distribute into the thing itself as well, you're going to be multiplying by 2 twice. So no, you do not distribute into the parentheses of someone else's multiplier, I guess is the best way to say it. And I almost forgot to distribute this 2 into the 3, which is included in the bracket, or the first parenthesis. So now I'm left with 2x minus 2 times 4 plus 2x, in parenthesis, plus, what's 3 times 2? 6. And that is equal to 2x x plus 2. Nice. Now, of course, following PEMDAS, we will take care of these parentheses. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, and negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. So I wind up with 2x minus 8 minus 4x, there we go, minus 4x, that's good, plus 6 is equal to 2x plus 2. Now on this side of the equation, let's combine our like terms. We've got 2x minus 4x. Well, that leaves me with negative 2x. So I've got negative 2x. And then I've got negative 8 and positive 6, which will leave me with negative 2. And that is equal to 2x plus 2. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit. There's a problem that you might have like on a final exam or a chapter test. Something a little bit more, I don't know the word, a little bit more difficult. So let's get the x's on one side of the equation and the constants on the other side. The constant being negative 2 or 3 or a million. So I will subtract 2x from both sides. So minus 2x minus 2x. So I'm left with negative 4x. Come on. Don't do a circle for me. There you go. Negative 4x minus 2 is equal to 2. Okay. And now to get rid of this 2, or this negative 2, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I'll be left with negative 4x is equal to 4. And now, dividing both sides by negative 4, let's do that. Negative 4 divided by negative 4. I'm left with, well, these go away, so I'm left with positive x. Negative divided by negative is positive. And a positive, you can't see it, but that's positive 4 divided by negative 4. So I'm left with x is equal to negative 1. Alright, so I guess on this question of your final exam or chapter test, you would get an A, or you would get that one right at least. I hope you enjoyed the video on linear equations in one variable. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me about them. I will be more than happy to answer them.